recording.
Welcome to LeadHER Talks, an open forum for women and those who support women in exchange of ideas, networking, enriching, empowering, and educating the growth and development of women in business in all industries. My name is Chantal Camarillo, and I'm joined here by my amazing co-founders, Vanessa Montañez and Rosario Lawrence, my comadres, my wolf pack, my mentors. So today, because of the rise of unemployment with pandemic, tens of millions of Americans, right, are still out of work. Let's face it, COVID-19 has changed the way of living for many of us, and it's also brought financial hardship at our doorsteps. And we may have a relative who's experiencing some of that same financial hardship, whether that was a job loss or a colleague that was recently displaced. And in some cases, the unemployment rate for women is far much greater than it is for men. And today we just wanted to have a candid conversation with leaders, along with Dalila Ramos, to really just provide what would be some tips, right, in this whole virtual environment, COVID-19 age that we find ourselves, and what we can do right now. I mean, I would tell you first tip would be revamp your resume, right? But the second one would probably be, update your online presence. And so with that, there's some free information in some of these websites, whether that's Indeed.com with career advice and things of that nature that can give you a little bit more additional tips that you can add on. But again, just wanted to hand this over to Vanessa to welcome our amazing leader for today.
Thank you so much. So I have the great honor of introducing my friend, Dalila Ramos, who is actually working at Planet Lending as a business development manager. But what makes Dalila amazing is her background. She's been in the mortgage industry for 20 years, but out of that, about 9 to 10 years have been in recruiting. She is a pro at looking at resumes, helping others find a job, connecting them. That's also in her LinkedIn profile. She's a connecting people, which she is. But it's great because she has a national platform, and so she has that experience of looking at resumes from all areas in the US and also seeing which ones are going to stand out and don't. But I met her about 3 years ago through our association called NAMBA, the National Association of Minorities in Mortgage Bankers of America. She is one of the leaders there from NAMBA. She helped them a lot with the growth model, and we connected, and that's how we met at a national conference, because we both are connectors of people. Yes. And from that, we were like kindred spirits. I'm like, oh my God, love this lady. She's authentic, funny, real, charming, and she's a go-getter. So I just instantly gravitated to her, and since then, we've connected and remained friends, good friends since then. She lives in Orlando, but she's originally from the Chicago area, from the Windy City. She has 2 beautiful, good-looking sons, young men, that are conquering the world. And today, I'm going to talk to her not as an influencer, not as a business development manager, but really talking about her dedication in recruiting and how to help others right now in this time of need with the pandemic. So with that, thank you so much, Dalila. We're going to hand it off to your first question. So Rosario, it's all yours.
Awesome. Thank you for joining our episode around, just work advice and how to, really go about looking for something new. With a lot of our local people and even nationally, right? There's been a lot of change around jobs and, layoffs and potential ones that are even lingering out there that you hear about. So it's really something that touches our community. But being that this year has been especially like no other and whatnot, what advice would you give someone to get back into the workforce and or change in the workforce? Because with technology, pandemic, unknowns, there's always a change in business. What do you recommend?
Okay. So, and again, ladies, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you asking me to be a guest. So thanks again. And so one of the things that I tell folks when they ask me is it's very challenging in the past prior to this whole 2020, this pandemic, right? It used to be to get yourself out there, you network, I'm a big believer of old school, of connecting face to face and having that relationship start in person. And then you have to make sure you manage it and massage it and keep it going, right? But now it's all virtual, right? So what I tell people a lot is you guys have to, number one, I tell them just start. Number one, you have to start. You have so many people reach out to me and I'm like, well, you know, I don't know where to begin. I don't know who to follow. I don't know what to do. Well, why don't you just start? And it could be just one platform. That's all. Because there's multiple platforms out there, right? We have LinkedIn, which is my favorite one. We have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, right? But just pick one and go at it with that one, start. Another thing I tell people, I preferably like LinkedIn. If you're looking for a job, LinkedIn. If it's for other things, for connecting and networking, maybe looking for clients, then you have your Facebook. And you have to know who your audience is. I tell people, who is your audience? Who do you want to, whether it's promote your business, whether promote yourself, find out who your audience and do a little research. And is it, you know, focused on Instagram? If it's photography, you're going to focus on Instagram. If it's mortgage, like us ladies, you're going to maybe LinkedIn and Facebook. So know who you're trying to focus on. And, but I always tell people you got to start. You got to put yourself out there and make sure it's updated. That's another thing. Make sure people know who you are, updated name, city, the company that you worked for, and tell people what you do. It's amazing that people out there, they'll take pictures of their dinner, they take pictures, they check in, donde sea, like what checking in, but I don't know what you do. You're a loan originator? Well, I wouldn't have guessed. That's based on your profile, right? On your page. Nothing about a closing, nothing about a loan, but all about their little ugly kids, and I don't know what they do.
I love it. You're so real. It's just so beautiful to see it, keeping it authentic, right?
It's true. Like it's like, I don't know why I'm not, you know, so successful. Well, I mean, nobody knows what you do. Tell people what you do. It kills me.
So with that, Dalila, I wanted to ask, so you mentioned LinkedIn, and so
Yes.
would you say that is a best platform to network, especially those that are seeking a job, whether it's in finance, mortgage, you name it, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
But LinkedIn is the #1 platform, especially when it comes to employment. If you're looking to make a career change, if you're looking to get it to change industries, whether it's, again, our mortgage real estate industry, whether it is restaurant, even the restaurant industry is now going to LinkedIn, the airline industry, you name it. They all have their own circles that they kind of get together, and they relationship and they network on LinkedIn. And there is a lot of information that platform can offer you. And remember, LinkedIn is an online resume. Those days of having a paper resume, remember, oh, can I get your resume? You know what? No, I can actually download it. Done on LinkedIn. It actually is a PDF. I don't know if you guys know that. There is a tab where you can download the resume and it's a wrap. So make sure that's also updated as well.
Awesome. Great. So essentially there's tools already embedded in LinkedIn that you can use professionally, right? Case in point,
Yes.
you just said you can easily just flip of a switch, download the resume, PDF, boom, virtual. But like you said, there's also forums within LinkedIn, correct? So depending on whether you're going to do a complete career change or whatnot, or you're trying to filter within a certain space, you can do that within LinkedIn, within some of these forums, correct?
Absolutely. LinkedIn has depending on whether looking for talent or looking for a certain team, it could be whatever your need is. LinkedIn will cater to that. So I tell people that are seeking jobs, even the young, even on like college students, right? College students that are coming in, entering a new industry, I tell them spend the extra 10, 20 bucks a month and upgrade your LinkedIn account, because it will allow you, right? The free account doesn't really do too much other than maybe just have your information out there, your online resume, and that is it. But if you upgrade it, it allows you, it'll give you who's hiring, what position they are, where they're located at, who is, it'll even tell you who's, I guess
Viewing.
yeah, like who's the one that's hiring for the position. And then you can connect with that person and maybe even send them a private little message, depending what kind of account you upgrade to. You can send them a little quick message. Hey, I saw you're looking for this specific position. Here is my resume. I would love 5 minutes of your time next week. Thank you. I mean, those things are really vital nowadays if you're looking to a career change or just get a job, get a career.
Great
along
suggestion.
those lines too. So would you recommend a cover letter or no cover letter? Is that too old school?
You know what? No, because I still like old school. So I appreciate the cover letter, but I don't, when I look at resumes or when I'm actively engaged with someone, if they don't have one, it doesn't bother me at all. But that's me, guys. So yeah.
And then how would you recommend right now to get noticed electronically or on LinkedIn? I mean, do you put video content? Do you not put video? Do you put articles you publish? I'm like, what is going to stand out to get that job, that prospect, regardless of the industry?
So the first thing with LinkedIn, again, make sure your account is doing what you want to do or what your overall goal is, right? I also tell folks, birds of a feather flock together. So if your ultimate goal is to be an attorney, then you're going to go ahead and follow a couple of attorneys, a couple of people that maybe would want to mentor you. You follow who you want to work for, what company you want to work for. That's what I tell people too. And that's pretty, and they're always open. I mean, it's rare that someone not accepts your LinkedIn request for a connection.
This is like a real high-end profile, like Oprah Winfrey, right?
Yeah, like, I mean, if it's something like that, that's crazy. I mean, even though I think I'm connected to a few of them, like not high like Oprah, but you know,
That's like one of my wishes. Like, can I get connected to Oprah, please?
you know, because some of those folks up there have people managing their accounts. Even our own CEOs, you know, that they don't manage their accounts. There's someone managing it for them. But if you want to work for, you know, Google, Apple, or it could be somewhere like Bank of America or US Bank or Caliber Home Loans, you're going to follow, you know, people that are high up there, and you connect with them and you start. And I always tell people, once you connect with them and they accept, then start engaging, you know, to drip the engagement, like their posts, like their video, and then graduate to making a comment. And if they kind of engage with back and forth, then boom, you're in.
That is really great strategy and great tip.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love hearing the yes, right? The do what we need to be doing. And we hear it a lot, oftentimes, engage, and then we get a little shy sometimes. Yeah. But with that being said, what do you do before an interview? So you get to the engagement, you get that connection, and then you actually get FaceTime, or like now, Zoom time, virtual time.
Okay.
What do you do? Does Dalila Ramos do to boost your confidence level and get in that right mindset, that zone where you're gonna go just kill it?
So I'm gonna keep it real, you guys, because Vanessa knows I'm a little bit of a, you know, I'm crazy. I'm me, right? And I'm grateful to Planet Home Lending for always, you know, supporting me and appreciating me for who I truly am. So one of the things, you're gonna laugh, I do things that make me bold. Like I have bold confidence, right? So I pump myself up. For me, I'll listen to a worship song. You know what's another one that works for me? I love shoes. I'm a shoe person. Not this year, but I've had some some bad looking shoes, right? So I will walk around like my house or my room, if it's just a phone call, with it could be pajamas, but some badass shoes that make you we all have those shoes that make us feel like we are fierce, right? That make us feel like, we're Beyonce or whoever we are, right? You have those shoes. So I put those suckers on and I walk around like if I'm trying to really, if I want to seal a deal or if I'm talking to someone and I want them, I'll put on the shoes, I'll pray to Papa Dios and get done.
I love it.
You do. So me, I do my Wonder Woman pose, right? I saw that too. And I'm like doing my Wonder Woman pose before I interview or talk to somebody important. I'm like, okay, I got this.
Yeah. Yeah. And even you guys know, I know that this year has been, everything has been via Zoom and, all these virtual meetings, right? But get yourself, take a shower. People, like I know that sounds simple, but take a shower, makes you feel good, right? Fresh, clean, and get yourself dressed. I know you're not really going outside, but get yourself dressed, people. That's another thing I tell, if you're a big makeup person, put your makeup on, do your hair. That helps with your confidence. And when you're confident, you sit upright, you stand upright, and you make it happen. I'm a big fan of that. So
I love it. Yeah, I would say I stand in front of the mirror and affirmations. You've got this, si se puede, eres chingona, and it's those little moments that you just take time to just praise yourself. We need that moment. But I definitely will do the high heels, Dalila, because I'm just like loving that. I think that is just love it. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Yeah, people, they're like, what do you do? I'm like, a good pair of heels.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think Rosario can relate to that. What about you, Rosario? What do you do?
I actually just do the deep breathing, right? Just go to the bathroom and just take deep breaths and just think through this and kind of channeling Chantal, right? You got this, you can do this. Don't quite do the Wonder Woman pose, but maybe I need to take a deep breath. I got this. Wonder Woman pose with my stilettos. And then I really will rock it.
Yeah.
Right? That is so
Absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah. So
with that being said, so you rock it with your stilettos, but deep down when it comes down to just being Dalila and just being who you are and just hitting it off the charts with all the wonderful companies you worked for and just to the future, what does being a LeadHER mean to you?
Oh, leader. Someone that represents their community and where they come from. Number one, I will be, like Vanessa knows, number one, I represent God. I'm a follower of Christ. That is, I rep that hard. So that's number one. Number two, I always want to represent my community. That's super important because I have a different background. One of the things I love about Vanessa, you are getting your PhD, am I correct? Remember, right? Yeah. Ladies, I have really no formal education. I have like an associate, barely a 2-year associate's degree. And I am now in a leadership position with Planet Home Lending. And I love the fact that they have allowed me to have that opportunity being who I am. I have tons of experience with the education piece I don't have. I had children in my 20s young, and so that didn't happen for me, but I didn't let it stop me. And so because of it, I want to encourage women that, hey, I understand that education is important. Don't misunderstand me. I'm a fan of education, but sometimes life happens, right, ladies? We all been there. You can still move up and do it the right way. Do it the right way. You can still move up and be a leader and represent, your values and your people and your community. Because I come from very, very humble beginnings, you guys. I mean, food stamps and government cheese and all that. And I want to make sure that I represent that well.
And you do.
Mm-hmm.
Well said.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say thank you so much for the insight,
You're welcome.
for just the suggestions, again, for those that are seeking, you know, employment, as you heard from Dalila, just some of the tips and trades that she would recommend. But please, you know, join us next week as we reflect and discuss November, the month of gratitude. This will be the Leaders Friendsgiving episode. So we're planting the seed now, right, for all of you leaders to take a time and give back, mentor, you know, like Dalila said, right, also represent your community. What are we doing, right, in our communities? And a simple, you know, what does it take to perform one simple act of kindness as well? That can create such profound impact on yourself, right, and others. So with that, please join us and just consider it an episode like chicken soup for the soul, right? So thank you again for joining Leader Talks, and thank you so much, Dalila. It was an
You're
absolute
welcome.
pleasure.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Enjoy your evening.
See you on
Bye.
Taco Tuesday.
Yes,
Taco
Taco
Tuesdays.
Tuesday.
That's right. Take care. Bye.
Bye.